Let's take a look at the characteristics of destruction by fire. Experts said no building like it, a modern steel-framed high-rise, had ever collapsed because of fire. Now, fireproofing is intended to withstand ordinary fires only for up to 2 hours. So, what happened in these high-rises, and in fact, every high-rise that has ever had a large fire in it, in this case, Caracas, Venezuela, 56 stories, burned 17 hours for 26 floors. Its fireproofing is only good for 2 hours. It did not collapse after 17 hours. Likewise, Los Angeles First Interstate Bank burned 3.5 hours over 5 floors. Philadelphia, 91, Meridian Plaza, 38 stories, burned for 18 hours over 8 floors. No collapse. These buildings are all being utilized today. So high-rise buildings do not collapse due to fire, even after their fireproofing has performed its usefulness after a couple of hours. Yet, we're told that a couple of small fires, and some say many more fires on the other side of this building, which we don't actually have visual evidence of, brought down this building very quickly, symmetrically, in 6.5 seconds. Do we have expert corroboration? Well, the top European controlled demolition expert, Danny Jawinko, says it starts from below. They have simply blown away the columns. This is a controlled demolition. A team of experts did this. This is professional work without a doubt. Hugo Bachmann, professor emeritus and a former chairman of the Department of Structural Dynamics. In my opinion, the building World Trade Center 7 was with great probability professionally demolished. What more do we need? Do we have molten metal at the World Trade Center Building 7?
You'd get down below and you'd see molten steel running down the channel rails. Like you're in a foundry. Yeah. Like lava.
Volcano.
Molten iron is the product of the incendiary thermite, a cutter charge which is used in many controlled demolitions. There's no other conceivable source of molten metal found at the base of World Trade Center 7. Hydrocarbon fires burn 1,700 degrees maximum. Molten metal, molten iron in this case, and most all molten metals burn, they need 2,700 degrees to create them. We're missing 1,000 degrees of energy, of temperature.
Down below.
Do we have foreknowledge of the collapse? Turns out we do. The fire chief, Nick Viscani, says, hey, we're moving the command post over this way. That building is coming down. Well, never before in history had a high-rise steel frame building, especially one with only a couple of small fires in it, but even large ones have never brought down a steel frame building. Let's see what the emergency and police workers say.
Keep your eye on that building, it'll be coming down.
The building is about to blow up. Moving back.
All right, guys? Sorry.
We are looking back. There's a building about to blow up.
Well, here we're not even saying there's a fire, that building's coming down. We're saying, hey, it's going to blow up. But so never before in history, again, has a fire brought down, and now we're being told it's going to blow up. Well, fires don't blow up buildings either. Turns out the BBC announced the collapse 20 minutes before it happened. Here is the BBC reporter announcing the 47-story Solomon Brothers building close to the World Trade Center has also collapsed. This was announced 20 minutes prior, and here's the building right here, still up in the air. Who gives these people their scripts? And can't they do a better job of timing these things? BBC, of course, apologized for this mistake, citing the confusion of the day's activities. Indira Singh, emergency worker. By noon or 1 o'clock, they told us we had to move from the triage site up to Pace University, a little further away, because Building 7 was going to come down or being brought down. Seems like there was a lot of awareness that it's not just collapsing by fire. Well, who was in Building 7 as a tenant? Well, the CIA's undercover New York station was there, the IRS, the Department of Defense, Mayor Giuliani's Office of Emergency Management, Securities and Exchange Commission, which, by the way, lost hundreds of active files that were being used to prosecute organizations such as Enron and WorldCom. So this is a highly secure building. Could Al-Qaeda have gotten access to it to set these explosives? I don't think it's probable. What's happening with the investigation? It's been put out to bid, and a proposal was successfully negotiated to Applied Research Associates, but they were told a couple of things. Don't examine floors 1 through 7, and don't examine the 47th floor. Why? Well, that's where all the evidence of controlled demolition is. That's where all the explosions were. That's where all the eyewitnesses saw the clap of thunder, etc. The penthouse falling first, with a telltale sign of controlled demolition. You can find me and my website at ae911truth.org. Everybody, please speak out. And thank you so much for coming tonight.